Hi everyone, welcome back to Patience and Screens. My name is Erin and today I'm going to be reviewing Wonder Woman with you guys. So this movie has been so anticipated for so long now, and at first when I heard that they were making a Wonder Woman movie I was very sceptical about it because, as we all know, in recent years DC hasn't exactly had the best rep for their movies. DC have really gone downhill with releases like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. So I was so skeptical when they announced that Wonder Woman was going to be released. Not only because it's one of the first female superheroes to ever get a fully fledged Hollywood blockbuster film dedicated to her, but also because DC were the ones making it. But I am so glad that I watched this film. I was not even considering watching it, but then as the film got released and leading up to its release as well, there was so much positive buzz surrounding Wonder Woman, and I just thought, you know, I need to see what this film's got going for it. I need to see what everyone's talking about. I was very skeptical about the feminist empowering aspects of the film. I was concerned that they wouldn't live up to, you know, people's expectations, and I thought that they would maybe fall flat on their face with the feminist elements of this film. Let me tell you in advance, this film was nothing how I imagined it would be. It was 10 times better. They hit the nail on the head with the female empowerment, and it was just so good. And if any of you guys haven't seen it yet, I would highly recommend it, especially if you are a woman, because it was one of the most empowering films I have ever seen in my whole life. I'm just so happy this film is in existence. I'm so happy that cinema has progressed enough to produce a film like this, and I felt so proud of not only Hollywood and DC as well for what they've managed to achieve with this film, but also for women in general and for the feminist movement and what we've managed to achieve for women over the years. Rating wise, I gave this film a strong A. I did have some issues with the third act of the film, which I'll talk about more in this review. However, the rest of the film for me was pretty much flawless and I had no issues with it whatsoever. I was so impressed with Patty Jenkins' direction in this film. I am so excited to see where her career takes her after Wonder Woman because she has had such success and I'm so happy for her and so proud of what she's achieved. The fact that it was directed by a woman and it's a film all about female empowerment and feminism makes me happier than I can even explain. I am so happy for DC with this film. They have made the biggest comeback that anyone could make. Honestly, I was so disappointed with their last films. I didn't really like Suicide Squad. That was a big letdown for me. Batman v Superman was just all over the place, and oh, what a waste of money that was going to see that. And then Man of Steel as well was just, I feel like DC are trying to better Marvel in ridiculous ways. They're trying to make their films too over the top and too like over dramatic and over extreme, and it's just falling flat and it's not working because they haven't established the franchise like Marvel have been doing over the last decade or so. DC don't have those roots that Marvel have planted over the years, and so them trying to build a franchise really quickly just is not working. But the exception of that now is Wonder Woman, and honestly it swayed me slightly to go and see Justice League. DC have such potential and I'm just hoping that they can continue this chain of success into their next films. So obviously I have already mentioned that this film is all about female empowerment. And oh my god, I had chills constantly throughout this film. I was so proud to be a woman and I just felt so empowered and so badass. And I was just, oh, it was so great to watch. And I am not a huge fan of action films and action sequences, but my adrenaline was off the charts watching this film. I loved the first fight scenes on the beach and also the training scenes as well. It was so empowering. So at Wonder Woman's core, we've basically got a film all about girl power. And I, for one, am not complaining. I'm a feminist, I am a woman, and this film is everything that I've been waiting for my whole life. Honestly, I couldn't have written a better film to depict femininity and female empowerment if I tried. It just, every single aspect of femininity and feminism in this film was executed so well. The way that women were portrayed in this film was just excellent. Honestly, they made the roles of men and women interchangeable, and that's just what I've wanted to see for so long now. It was so enlightening to see so many women in roles that would traditionally be written for men, and it was so fulfilling and satisfying to watch a film that tackled strong female characters in such a perfect way. By far the best sequence of the film for me was the no man's land sequence. Oh my god. I didn't want that to end. It was just so fucking good. I'm sorry, but it was amazing. I was just blown away by how badass Diana was in that sequence. It was just great. I loved how Diana's character was really rooted with such honourable and heroic traits. She didn't do any of this for glory. She didn't do any of it for honour or for pride. She just did it for humanity, and she did it for, you know, the sake of doing the right thing, which is exactly what a hero should do. And it was really nice to see a superhero that was just so well grounded, and it felt classic. It felt old school, and it was everything that I think modern superhero films have been lacking. Her character was exactly what I've been waiting for, not only in a female superhero, but in just in a general superhero. And it was just great. And the No Man's Land sequence was probably one of the, if not the best action sequence in a superhero film I have seen in a long time. I do not normally get that pumped and feel that rush of adrenaline as I did with the No Man's Land's action sequence. It was just phenomenal. I loved how all the guys were just kind of made redundant because Diana was just absolutely annihilating all the Germans. In a weird way, this film was quite down to earth. I loved how there was a lot of thematic elements in the film to do with, you know, humanity and doing the right thing, and what it means to be a hero and make sacrifices for the sake of the greater good, which is basically what a superhero should be all about in the first place. But I think we've been lacking that in a lot of recent superhero films, and I was really glad to see that in this film. Okay, so I only really had one issue with the film, and that came in the third act, and that is why I had to give it an A rather than an A+ rating. And that is the reveal of Ares. I was so disappointed and also really confused by the reveal of Ares and who he was. It was almost like they just plucked a random character out of thin air that appeared early on in the film that had no attachment to the rest of the film and just decided that he was Ares. But I think they could have integrated him better into the storyline to make it clearer that he was Ares early on. I think I might have to rewatch this film just to see if they did include any subtle hints that he might have been Ares, or if it was just completely like detached from the rest of the film and just came out of nowhere. I was kind of hoping after she'd killed the first Ares, we'll call him, the German army guy, I was really hoping it was going to be Dr. Poison. I thought that would be a really cool twist for a film all about female and female empowerment, to have a woman be the main antagonist and also the god of war. I just think that would be so badass, and also would totally subvert gender roles and all that kind of stuff. And I just think that would have been a really interesting twist. The traditional gender roles in this film were really subverted in a really progressive and forward-thinking way. I love how Steve seemed to be this really kind of, you know, self-confident, self-assured spy that was quite heroic and masculine, but also he was really, really awkward around Diana, which I really loved to see. I thought it was so sweet. I loved that scene on the boat when they were headed off the island and back to London. I just thought it was adorable to watch. I loved how in tune this film was with mature relationships and female sexuality. Diana was so confident in her body confidence and sexuality, and I just loved how she kind of teased Steve in this film. It was just so funny to watch. I found their jokes so hilarious. You know, Steve had to sacrifice himself to save today, and Diana had to live on to save tomorrow, which just, oh my god, I was crying in the cinema watching that scene. It was just awful. It was awful. And Steve was just a great character. He was a great hero. Steve's sacrifice wasn't blown out of proportion, and it wasn't exaggerated in any way. It was just, he was the guy that needed to save the day, and there was no one else that was going to be able to do it. And I just, oh my god, it broke my heart so badly. His final speech to Diana and how she couldn't actually hear what he said when he said it to her. She only remembered afterwards. Oh my god, oh, it was just, oh, just, he told her he loved her, and oh, my heart was just broken. It It was awful. Basically, Wonder Woman's a great film. I loved it. I was thoroughly impressed by it. Patty Jenkins was amazing. Chris Pine, Gal Gadot were all amazing. I am so excited to see where the stars of this film and the director go in the next few years. I really hope that their careers kind of get kick-started following this film, because they all deserve to have success and happiness in the future, because they're so talented and they did such a good job on this film. So that is everything for my Wonder Woman review. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!